Boom. Nice. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Sunday Vibes Bilingual Streaming with your good friend Lila. Actually, I'm going to adjust my seat. Oh, yeah, that's much better. Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? 我叫乐乐法力，今天呢是双语直播，但是双语直播会跟以往稍微有一点区别啊，就在于我前45分钟就会讲中文，然后后40分就后面那一半才会说英语，就是不会说是先说英语然后再说中文，而是说要分2个阶段。所以今天晚上的直播先是说中文的。So if you don't understand Chinese and you're watching this either right now or you're watching the playback, you can skip it to basically 45 minutes and I'm going to speak English there. I'm going to do what I do with my patron streams and I'm going to speak Chinese for the first 45 minutes and then I'm going to speak English for the latter 45 minutes. So if you don't speak Chinese, feel free to skip to about 45-minute time mark.And we'll do all English. 所以现在我们就以中文来进行今天晚上直播的前面一半然后在今天晚上的直播开始的时候，我也是想祝所有的朋友们元宵节快乐。今天晚上其实由于99 Ranch Market， 其实我相信住在美国西岸的朋友们，大多数尤其是住在洛杉矶的朋友们应该都知道99 Ranch Market 这个地方，所有的华人想买的东西都在那边。然后他们现在也有一个新的 App， 你可以去下载。对，他们是今天晚上直播的赞助商，然后他们也给我提供思念的这个汤圆非常好吃。然后我还做了，专门为这次直播提前做好了。Okay, which I'm going to try a little bit. These are the ones with sesame. 口感，因为汤圆他们的口感真的实在是太独特。Hero 乐乐，我不是一个 hero， 我是一个 very 普通人，普普通通的。对这个人来说是看起来越来越憔悴了许多。实际上我上2个星期其实锻炼的挺频繁，就几乎每天都是去健身房。所以感觉现在挺好，感觉挺好，可能只是因为长了胡子吧，可能才会有人这么说。特别想要 Miss Communist MP3。Well, Miss Communist 你可以在所有的主要的音乐平台上下载，或者说听。然后如果你是patron 或者会员的第2级别以上的级别的话，你可以下载。但是 Miss MP3 这个我也不想这么说，但是 whatever 我就这么说吧。你很容易可以下载 YouTube 的视频，你可以把YouTube 视频的链接放在另外一个网站上，然后它都会给你转成 MP3。我这么说是不是有点踩到自己的脚上？我操！So if you're just coming in and you don't speak Chinese, I'm going to speak English in the latter 45 minutes. We're doing first 45 minutes Chinese.Latter 45 minutes English. Wow. The 口感 jeez, of 汤圆 is so 独特 is so unique. Given your knowledge of Emory University, describe what unique resources, experience, and opportunities you hope to take advantage of as a student there. Emory University, 首先 Anthony, 你会说中文对吧？你会说中文。如果你不会说中文，我们就等到英语的部分，我再给你详细的用英语来回答。如果你会说英文的话，如果你会说中文的话，我就直接用中文来跟你讲。Anthony 首先看不懂英文的朋友们不知道 ，Anthony 刚问我，埃默里大学是我本科读的大学，我在那边读本科，然后它算是美国的一所名校，非常好的一个学校。然后这个朋友 Anthony 他是问我怎么利用他们那边的资源，他们有什么样的机会啊或者经验。首先 Anthony 我要告诉你，如果你可以的话，你应该加入一个兄弟会。因为埃默里大学它学霸那么多，但是具体怎么玩，就比如说怎么举行一个真的很好玩的 party， 这些都是需要有类似于中央的一个力量。 所以说，如果你加入某一个兄弟会的话，那你会有一群朋友们可以跟你一起举行 party 啊，然后不仅仅是 party， 但是你又会有一些慈善活动啊，然后他们通过慈善活动或者 party 什么的，就这些这些社团，你才能够接触到亚特兰大那个城市的更多的，或者你才能看到亚特兰大这个城市更多的，更多比较有意思的地方。因为如果你没有一个兄弟会是在举行这个周末也要去这边就举行这方面的活动的话，那你压根儿就不会想到哦，也许我应该去，就比如说这个博物馆，就比如说以前我们是有。在博物馆的时候会举行一些 date parties，date parties 是专门你去问一个女生，来陪伴，不陪伴这个听起来有点像色情行业，就是你能够邀请一个你喜欢的女生来，跟你一块儿去一个其实挺奢侈的 party，然后我们有几次是在某一些博物馆举行，然后你只能是在有这个中央的力量才能够，you know。才能够有这方面的机会，就接触到亚特兰大这个城市本身。但是除了这个之外，我还是建议，尤其是你的专业相关的课程，你可以去找老师。就office hours 的时候，就没有来过美国上学的朋友们可能不知道，但是在美国的大多数大学里头，你每一个教授他都会有就是设定专门的一段时间，你可以去他的办公室，然后1对1。就去问他问题，跟他聊各种各样的话题。然后我觉得，不管是艾默里还是其他的大学，都应该利用这个特权，这个权利，因为是非常棒的。You know，当你能够，尤其对于我这么性格这么外向的人来讲，就我能够通过交谈，就真正的交流，跟一个老师真正的交流的话，我是觉得我才会有更多的心得，尤其是对于经济学来讲，you know，I don't know。除了这个之外认识更多的人，就不要害羞，不要害羞。汤圆，I'm a really big fan。就算他们不是今天晚上的赞助商，这个思念的语言汤还是非常好吃的。99 Ranch， 大家可能不知道，但是99 Ranch 曾经在我其他的视频中出现过2次，有一个是在白猴子的 MV 上面，然后另外一个是在来改变我想法的第1期，我们第一个去的地点就是那个99 Ranch， 很不错，很不错。什么馅儿 ？Oh, it's sesame. What is it? 芝麻。How do I say it in Chinese? It's really good. I mean， 我觉得你汤圆你把它给外国人吃，他们会觉得非常奇特。Again，我再重复一下自己。如果 if you guys don't speak Chinese and you're here watching this, you can just skip to about 45 minutes. That's when we'll switch to English. We're gonna do it Chinese first, English second, because that's what I've done in my member and patron streams, and I think it's easier for everyone. Internal Affairs 这个有朝一日我得跟我的这个朋友，我得跟 Lizzie 去聊这个电影。Oh yeah， 海盗党嘛 ，Yes， that's 我是在教你们怎么导我自己的音乐作品。I'm so stupid. What do you think of UCLA？ 我觉得 UCLA 挺好啊，我觉得 UCLA 非常好。但是呢，有点大。I mean， 它挺大，它可以算自己的一个小镇。就从人口和地点面积来看，它真的应该算自己的一个小镇。然后这个小镇刚好是位于洛杉矶非常豪华的地区，就在 Westwood，特别好，也非常好。有流浪汉、吸毒的流浪汉什么的都特别少，不像洛杉矶大多数其他的区域。洛杉矶现在就是如此乱，那还行吧。疫情现在也有一些改善，现在有一些好转。韩语吧，我听说日语特别难学， 我听说日语的语法非常繁琐，有点像西班牙语。但是韩语，因为我听说 ，you know，我可能完全是错的，但是我听说，韩语是一个比较新的语言，就他们是在有一定的就对语言有一定的知识水平之后，才发明现代版的韩语。I think 是吧？这个我也没法确定。但是我刚才在聊这个99 Ranch Market 的时候，我还就是顺便要聊到来改变我想法。So good 所以来改变我想法的第2期，我本来是想要在在昨天拍，然后我确实拍了。我从早上出发，然后一直到晚上，一直到这个太阳下山，我们才停止，我们才停录。但是可惜的是，而且昨天我本来第2期来改变我想法的议题是台湾不属于中国，台湾不属于中国的一部分 ，right？然后，因为我觉得这个议题非常有争论性，非常值得大家讨论，而且是那种其实你可能以为台湾不属于中国这个问题是比较简单，但是实际上还是挺复杂的。我专门为这周末去拍来改变我想法的第2期，而做了很多功课，就是做了很多研究，研究过就是台湾就两岸的这个历史，很有意思。但是问题就在于，没有一个人愿意坐下跟我聊这个话题。就大部分的中国人，就我到哪儿就问他们说台湾不是中国的一部分，而不属于中国的一部分。大多数的人他们是一听到这句话就跑走了，真的是跑走了。那大概是属于80%的比例，剩下的那些人有一些可能是说。我说你觉得台湾是中国的一部分吗？然后他们会说，当然是，然后就跑走。然后最后还有大概有遇到了2-3个台湾人，然后他们都说，他是独立自权的国家，他的独立自主的国家，然后没什么好聊的。大家也是，要么是真正的很着急，要么是假装着急，反正他们都没有想跟我聊这个话题，而且我也是反复的强调，我之所以想录那样的系列，并不是因为我想跟别人撕逼，我是真的想进行一个尽量要友好也就善良的一次交谈，因为我觉得双方都会有心得，但是呢，可惜的是，尤其是年轻人。Oh yes, China Q&A is right. 尤其是年轻人，就这些中国的年轻人，华人年轻人，他们都不愿意跟我谈这些话题。他们一听到跟政治相关的议题被问，就一听到这句话，他们很多就跑走了，或者说假装是没有听到一样的，就感觉简直是跟朝鲜没有什么区别的。就你能感觉到，其实我以为我要拍这个第2期的系列的时候，我以为他们会很生气，我以为会有很多人说洋垃圾，你懂个屁，去你妈！看，但是你知道我却在他们的眼神中，我知道我看到了什么吗？我看到了恐惧，就是我觉得中国这个第2次的这个文革已经严重到这个程度了。就他们就算他们是支持共产党的，但是他们害怕，还会it's bad. It's fucking bad. 乐乐，我跟我聊什么呢？我们要不要聊这个中华民国和中华人民共和国的区别？因为真的很有意思，非常有意思。我跟大家说实话，可能是我自己的一种偏见吧。但是当我开始就是做功课，关于这话题做功课的时候，我以为我很容易就能够找出一些就黑白分明的答案。 但实际上，这个问题还是挺复杂的。I mean， 虽然从实质层面上看，台湾早是自己独立自主的国家。I mean， 这个从对内主权来看，它当然是自己的独立国家，它有自己的总统啊，它有自己的军队啊，自己的军队也是只有这个最高的指挥权是在于被台湾的选民选出来的总统手中。OK， 他有自己的货币啊什么的，他明明是自己的国家，是明明从民间，很多人民间或者说从实质层面上看，他是自己的国家，但问题在哪儿呢？中华人民国，中华民国这个名字，因为就以我所知，根据70年代，当国际社会才开始广泛的承认中华人民共和国代表中国的时候，他们也承认了，中华人民共和国就是要继承以前的政府的土地和权利 ，right？ 但问题在哪儿呢？当日本要给以前侵略过的土地要还给以前的政府，那是大清朝，那是大清，但是大清已经消灭了，已经不在了，对不对？所以如果要给中华人民共和国的话，那问题在哪儿呢？如果台湾还是要以中华民国这个名字来自称的话，那确实是还处于一种真空的状态。因为实际上国际社会就很多人他们有一个误解，其实国际社会大多数的国家没有承认中国对于台湾属于中国的立场，而是认知或者留意到，他们是认知或者留意到。I mean， 这个有点意思吧 ？It's kind of interesting。从文化语言上看是一个国家，从文化上是中国人，对吧？是中国人，但是你要是从文化上，那这个是就比如说地理文明啊什么的，那英国人和法国人也都是欧洲人，他们也都是欧洲人，但是你还敢告诉一个法国人他是英国人吗？当然不是。所以从文化上看，那你当然可以说台湾大多数的人他们是过春节、过元宵节扫墓所以传统有各种各样中国的传统，甚至可能继承了更多的传统，因为没有文化大革命。But 从国际上来看，它是一个国家。I mean， 文化上它也许就是有很多中国人，但是我们也千万不要忘记，中国这个字儿，而且中国这个词一直在改变，它的意思一直在改变。古代的时候也有一段时间，它的意思就是北京是首都，然后中国这个概念也是随着国际法越来越成熟才诞生出来的。以前的各种各样的朝代，大多数都是以那个朝代来称呼自己，来定义自己，对吧？李白他是中国人嘛，从文化上他是中国人，但是从国籍上来看，他是唐朝人 ，right？ It's so confusing。你可以和你连麦啊，我可以和你连麦的。我没有这个高科技，要是有 Inti 想帮我的话，也许下一次我们可以两个朝代。But the U.S. wants sale weapon. Well, the U.S. and China, that's the hard thing about Taiwan. 台湾是处于一个非常尴尬的状态，因为有美国、中国双方的压力。所以see the ROC and PRC are different countries. Yeah. 但是如果他想真正的独立起来的话，是要通过国际的正式的途径，国际法律正式途径去对外宣称我们是台湾但是你要台湾一这样做，我们都知道共产党他会打扰，美国也会干扰 right？ 甚至也许如果你把共产党逼到那点上的话，他们也许就会真正的开始whatever武统 whatever 武统，但是我觉得他们不敢，我觉得这都是，我觉得他们不敢。但是可以肯定，you know，中国政府之所以在洗脑中国老百姓的时候如此重视台湾必须得统一，就是大一统的这个概念，我个人觉得应该是主要有2个原因。第一是这个它的地理位置是很有价值的，所以如果他把美国理解为敌人的话，那台湾能够有美国的 是军队的一个根据地的话，那这对中国把美国这个国家理解为敌人的中国政府，对他们来说这当然是不能接受的，是很难以接受的。但是另外一个角度，我觉得肯定是因为台湾越来越棒，中国政府用来支撑自己政权的主要理由就是说中国民主不适合中国，这个理由显得越来越扯淡，显得越来越站不住脚，对不对？而且因为台湾就像我刚才说的，从文化上、语言上，就是以中国人为主的一个国家，而且它是很优秀的。我知道可能会有一些中国网民以为我现在是要发挥或解锁另外的一种财富密码，就开始鼓吹台湾，对吧？开始舔台湾。但实际上从各个角度来看，台湾确实是非常棒的一个国家。我也是通过这个星期就研究这个话题才发现，台湾有多么优秀，有多么牛逼。所以台湾越来越好，那中国共产党他们治理的这个权力显得越来越有风险，会给他带过来风险。The weapon is big business, 100%. 100%. It's definitely 美国也是当然要卖这东西。Lil's value is way more than just teaching English. China Q&A just doesn't know me. 他对我不熟嘛，所以他才会说这些。It's okay， 没关系，我们也是允许对我不熟的人发表自己的意见，没有关系。好像在赞助直播聊这个不太好，他们要赞助的时候，他们都知道我是什么样的博主。武统只是嘴炮 ，Yeah, it's just 嘴炮 ，It's just 嘴炮 ，Absolutely. The international community should help. So, Diana. So, 既然昨天因为我跟大家说实话，我是要去台湾发展一段时间，然后我越想去，但是呢，我最后是希望可以在洛杉矶的这段时间，就是发挥洛杉矶拥有的一些优势。那其中一个优势就是华人非常多，非常密集，而且我们这边是有言论自由，而且大多数的华人是来自大陆。所以我才能有机会来改变我想法这样的一个系列。但是通过昨天拍摄的失败，我真的应该把它定义为失败。通过昨天拍摄的失败，我就发现了这个就算是有这个方面的优点，还是非常难。大多数大陆人他们就算是支持共产党，还不愿意在我们明明是在录制的情况下跟我发表，就是向我发表他们的意见，或者就算他们是支持共产党，他们还是会害怕在录制中就暴露出某一个会导致他们在国内遭遇麻烦，或者他们的亲戚在国内遭遇麻烦的话。因为中国已经文革了，中国人你们怎么看朝鲜？就现在国际社会就怎么看你们？Lola's funny people, but political is not good for you. Yeah, okay, China. Okay, China Q&A. Sure, buddy. 美国也是从英国独立出来的，当时的美国公民 ，Yeah， 对，但是美国没有说，这个完全是对的。中国如果他们我们自古以来台湾是不可分割的一部分，那么问你要不要同意？就按照这个思想来看，你要不要跟俄罗斯跟你关系非常友好的俄罗斯打一场？ 因为俄罗斯帝国以前也占有了中国很大的一片土地，而且它的面积比台湾大好几倍。那你要不要同意那部分呢？新加坡如果要从文化上看，说他们是中国人，所以他才得跟大陆统一。那新加坡呢？那我觉得我能接受的一个说法是说，而且昨天我本来想问这个问题，但是没有人敢跟我聊这个话题。本来我想问中国大陆人，如果你们真的是最重视的是大一统，那如果台湾统一大陆，也就是说大陆要进行民主化的话，你会支持吗？你会支持吗？大家有没有觉得那一些非常讨厌台湾的小粉红，只不过是看自己得不到的东西，直接跳过羡慕、嫉妒，一直就直接跳到恨，就我必须得恨，是有点阿 Q 心态，对不对？就我现在自己的处境，我现在自己生活中的这些，明明是比台湾很差的各种各样的条件，我反而得把它理解为或者转成值得荣幸的一些好处。小粉红和战狼没有常识，他们对武统发动战争毫无顾忌，是因为长期被洗脑，认为集体的利益高于人命人性。Yeah，it's ridiculous。所以你问他们，好，你要武统台湾，那你准备去打吗？你自己准备去当兵吗？肯定不敢啊。再说台湾的这个军队能力不是一般的。I mean, it's fucking pretty serious, dude. You look like you're pretty high. I love this. 每一次我做直播都会有人出来说，你是不是吸大了？我没有，我好长一段时间都没有吸过马。武统不是绝无可能。The wash Brian is not easy。英国也没天天逼。对，英国有没有说哦？既然中国可以来这一招，那我们也来这一招吧？美国你要还给我们。美国人就不是说因为曾经是你的，那永远是你的。这是一个可能表面上看起来稍微有理的状态，但是实际上你一研析。而一研究就是显得非常胡扯的一个理由，是站不住脚的，是经不起任何推敲和考察的套话。That's what it is. Taiwan is not a country. I can hear China Q&A. 我可以通过你的文字听出来你的口音。Taiwan is not a country. Yes， 台湾 number one。你知道，现在我觉得最可笑的是，你在魔兽世界或者任何的游戏，如果发出一条具有汉字的话，你会引起所有的人都开始发台湾 number one， 台湾 number one， 习近平长得太像维尼小熊，就各种各样的骂共产党或者说支持台湾的话。这个是尤其是自从 NBA 就是美国火箭球队的经纪人发的那一篇推开始，从那个时候就开始，美国在民间，美国的或者说国际社会的年轻人才开始关注到共产党的邪恶，还有他这个非常巨婴的心态，蔡英文 is a Banff Diana Claire 用的非常好。Banff is a badass motherfucker. Okay, it's really and I agree. 蔡英文，我就是为了准备录这一期，因为我以为会有很多人就想跟我聊这个话题，因为我以为他们会有一个非常强烈的反应，看一个白人就是大声的喊，因为台湾不属于中国，会有人就是冲着说你懂个屁！结果每个人都是Oh God， 国内已经文革了。 但是为准备录那一期，我还听了蔡英文参与Brian Tsang 的那个 Night Show， 就那个脱口秀，蔡英文跟主持人调侃啊，然后能够接受被讽刺什么的，我在看的时候我就觉得操 ，like 你还敢说台湾是中国吗 ？I mean, they're just completely different。你能想一想，习近平上一个综艺节目，然后被一个脱口秀演员嘲讽 ？No way， 他连这个十里山路不换肩这句话都不能接受。蔡英文呢，才是展现出什么叫信心。I mean, she's confident， 她是有信心的。蔡英文，再说她英语也说得非常好。I mean, she's London School of Economics. That's a really good fucking school. I think she's PhD. She 她是有博士学位吗？是 London School of Economics 毕业的吗？ I mean, that's fucking 牛逼 dude. That is 顶尖的顶尖。Lila, is that get money from China government help you to get money? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that sentence means. 聊一聊 QA9. I'm not gonna 聊阴谋论。你们想玩，你们想聊的话，你们自己去研究。我就希望你知道阴谋论 是值得质疑的。CCP's army is so corrupted. Oh, that's interesting. Nicholas can fly. 这个我没有想到，但是我估计是对的。所以习近平才在近几年以来，把大多数这个军队的权力也都集中到自己的手中吧，对吧？他现在不是给自己另外一个外号，另外一个 title， 就是说他是中国军队的主人 or whatever。Nikki 就看看台湾2020控制 COVID 的成绩，有目共睹。有目共睹。Is that what that is? Zhu? I should know that character. Yeah, I mean, Taiwan. So 以啊，我要把我这个想法说完。所以现在乐乐已经打了一半的疫苗，就一次的疫苗，我还有一次要去打。然后在我打完第二个疫苗之后，我会全力以赴的，开始做所有需要做的。能够怎么说？我会开始要走向去台湾发展的路，我会走向那一条路，对，正式的走向这一条路。因为我觉得洛杉矶，就算我们现在开始有正常人也可以去打疫苗，但是我觉得还会有很长的一段时间在这边。不会有很多演出的机会。再说，我要是能够在我还是比较年轻的时候，虽然是即将要进入壮年，我要是能够在这个阶段去台湾发展甚至2年的话，我觉得我不仅仅可以在台湾发展自己的脱口秀，我顺便也可以去澳大利亚。就你们可能不知道，但是除了美国之外，就仅次于美国，就是来看我内容最多的国家就是澳大利亚。然后我觉得澳大利亚的观众特别能够欣赏我脱口秀大多数的段子，因为他们对于中国的共识还是比美国和欧洲前卫的多得多，深刻的多得多。所以我要在这边正式宣布，乐乐要去台湾的阶段是开始了。但是怎么去呢？我已经剪了自己的一个个人集锦，然后我要把个人集锦发给几家我比较喜欢的一些经纪公司，然后就看情况吧，看看能不能跟一家经纪公司签约，然后拿到这种签证去台湾发展。然后当我在那边能够发展1-2年甚至3年之后，我再可以回到美国，在这边继续发展自己的脱口秀。而且那个时候我觉得我才会更加有尊严，美国的观众会觉得我操，他在异国，他在另外一个国家用另外一门语言得到了一点名气，那我们可以去看看他的脱口秀。台湾就是事实独立啊，台湾护照很好用，对，中国护照不好用。One China, one Taiwan, and one Hong Kong. Yeah, I mean, 所以就这些，还希望台湾是中国的台湾人。我觉得大多数实际上是希望台湾能够解放，也不是解放，但是跟大陆统一。 所以就是他们会变成有一个民主社会，一个民主国家。但是我觉得就算台湾独立，当共产党开始瓦解，或者说内斗，因为我觉得习近平他死之后，党内会有一段时间进行你死我活非常激烈的内斗，然后在那个时候，我估计共产党再加上外在的压力，很有可能会崩溃。然后他要崩溃的话，我们要问的问题是我们怎么减轻中国普通人，就怎么中国老百姓吃的苦，我们怎么减少他们得吃的苦。因为如果像苏联那样就突然有一天崩溃或者瓦解什么的，其实会有人死啊，会有一些暴力。And that's not good, that's not fair. 不应该是公民要承担这个瓦解的后果。所以我觉得在那个阶段，你有台湾、韩国、日本和美国帮中国各个地区建立一个新的法治啊，就具有法治的一个民主体制的话，还会还是最好的一条路。但这个都是我个人的猜测。我也不得不承认，当然是有很多盲区，而且这个问题就是非常复杂，非常复杂，非常非常复杂。美国独立的时候，英国是男王，不是女王。So if you guys are just tuning in and you don't speak English, I'm going to switch to English in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, we're doing English. 还有10分钟说中文的时候，然后我要换到英语。然后我们以后就可以这样进行双语直播。By all means, he is a nuisance. Why will you remove me? Lila, I question help mainland people in Taiwan to understand each other. Is he being a nuisance? Well, Diana Claire has the 主权啊，你有这个主权，你可以当这个评论区的警察呀。祝你申请到台湾的工作签。谢谢。Yeah. I mean, I think I can do it.我的目的是I want to put Taiwan on the map. 所以我通过我这次研究，我才发现了，台湾它的存在对于整个民主社会文明国家来讲还是非常重要。台湾真的如果要是被武统的话，那我们文明社会这是我们的一次大失败。这个是绝对不能接受的。但问题在哪儿呢？你问10个美国人，你问十有八九，他们都不知道台湾和中国的区别。他们真的对于这2个国家的区别，或者他们的历史什么的两岸关系一无所知。然后这也是来自于西方媒体关于中国的报道，还是非常枯燥的。It's just so boring， 因为他们自己很难以通过共产党的文字就得出一些比较有价值、可靠的预测，或者说一些判断。就他们分析共产党的能力是很差的，或者说他们不敢，我也不知道。反正导致连我身边从名校毕业的美国年轻朋友们，他们对于台湾和中国之间的关系和历史什么的，这真的是一无所知。那我一直是在说我的初心，当然我们不要忘记初心。我一直在强调，我想用脱口秀和说唱帮助西方或者民主文明国家的年轻人对于共产党的邪恶觉醒。把他们，因为他们现在还是我真的觉得了解的特别肤浅。所以我要是能够去台湾，在那边生活，而且能够得到一个对于这个国家，站得住脚、经得起考察的结论，我觉得将来当我要鼓励西方国家的年轻人支持台湾的时候，我才会更加有发言权，对吧？因为我只有去过台湾一次，而且待的特别短，就真的是去了考了一个考试，然后就走了，就后来就走了，没有太大的经验。 我有时候在幻想民主的中国，要是中国能成功度过民主，和美国像兄弟一样手牵手，那将是人类世界的一大幸运。对，希望这一天能在我有生之年到来。我也是这么想，对吧？大家想一想，唐朝之所以是那么棒的一个朝代，为什么那个时候有那么多外国人扎堆到中国去学习，或者那么多周围国家自愿当中国的藩属国？是因为那个时候从各个方面来看，那个时候的中国确实是很棒的。那为什么现在中国不能如此呢？明明是因为体制上，从体制上的角度来看，中国是一个集权政府所以可能所以对外来看，对外国际社会，它的这个形象是很差的。那国内的一些小粉红战狼们，他们可能会觉得，中国政府管理的挺好啊，挺好啊，我们的挺好啊。但是你不得不承认，从大多数多数民主国家来看，你们是很不自由的一个国家，而且是非常不自由的，因为比你们自由的国家太多了，太多了，太多了。很好啊，如果你去台湾，我去看你啊。Oh yes, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. 那么多国家的海军在南海，又不是来旅游的。Should I remove China Q&A? Diana, that's your call. That's your call. 我给你这个权利，并不是因为我想自己去管，那是你的权利。你一定会爱上台湾，不会回来的。I don't know, we'll see. 我还是非常喜欢洛杉矶的天气。Just watch him dance. 澳大利亚是有很多华人的，对 by all means, he is a nuisance. Nikki says, kick him. Kick his ass, remove him. Oh, did you remove him? Oh, you didn't remove him. He's still in here. 支持乐的想法。Okay, I stay right Chinese. 你英语语法错误实在是太多了。我告诉大家一个非常好笑的，我会采取用来对付那些或者说反驳那些非得跟你说英语不可的中国人。就他们知道你中文明明比他们英语好太多，好不知道到哪里去，但是他还非得坚持跟你说英文。我曾经遇到过这样的中国人，其实挺多的，有点奇葩。就在一群中国人在聊天的时候，其中有一个非得跟你显示他有多么国际化的一位中国人，然后我还学到了一种反驳他们，可以用来反驳他们这个吹牛的现象，这种表现。当他们在大家说哦对是这样哦，美国是不是也是有这样的，然后其中有这个英语不是特别好的一位中国人，就非得坚持在一群中国人面前，而且在知道就这个老外中文说的比他英语好很多的这个情况下，他还坚持得说英语，得显示自己的英语能力。你就听到他说一句英语之后，你就说哇，你泰语讲的特别好啊，你是什么时候才开始学泰语啊？特别流利，然后就看他们崩溃，会让他们就是在大环境下丢脸，哇，特别好笑。It's so funny, dude. So funny. 哇，你这个泰语讲的太流利了。为什么把我弄出去？哎，我们不把你弄出去。Okay, 好，你就被弄出去了。Someone, oh no, I'm just gonna put you in timeout. How about that? You're going timeout. Oh shit! No, I just put Monica in timeout. Oh shit! I'm so sorry, Monica. No, I'm so sorry, Monica. Right? I'm so sorry. Fuck, dude. Oh, Monica, that was completely an accident. 那不是故意的。不好意思啊，不好意思。朝鲜人民也认为自己过得很好。Yeah, that's the thing. That's true. Actually, 其实我们也不知道中国人民是否是对于现在的政府满意，因为就算你反对共产党， 中国国家尤其是现在没有任何反对共产党的这个空间他们没有任何生存的空间。反对共产党的人，他们的声音都早就被打没了，早就没了。台湾也有脱口秀，台湾脱口秀是处于萌芽状态，所以我才想去，因为我觉得我要是能够在那边发展，我可以引起国际社会对台湾的注意。中和美国根本在于价值观，一个民主，一个独裁。中国自古以来 ，I love that， 对，自古以来 ，it's like 你说古指的是什么时候？因为其实是荷兰政府第一个到中国政治，就第一个在中国在台湾，建立地方政权，不是中央政权。自古以来，中国就是这个口袋。Yes, exactly。山东颠倒都是套话，其实他们自己都说不出这个中国的界限、文化、历史、领土，连现在过的春节，都是清朝初年才有的历法，还是外国传教士编的。哇，他们不会仔细去想，其实是跟我不想再次批评很多川粉，但是跟很多川粉他们看法轮功媒体是一样的现象。他们只会囫囵吞枣，就会接受，自己压根儿不会想我要不要去研究要不要去研究他刚才说的话他们就会觉得对，就是这样，就没有这个冲动要去多了解的冲动。不追求民主的人民需要自己There's a new visa for talented foreigners, including YouTubers, I think. Search for the, Huang Jinka. Look forward to your talk show. Yes. Yes. Way ahead of you. Oh, yes. It's already in motion. We're already working towards stuff like that. Very much. 我先卖个关子，但是我们是在努力往这个方向走，已经开始了。Okay, guys. 我们现在就要换到英语了，所以我估计一下子就会有很多观众走。现在我们要正式换到英语。It is time for English. It's time for the English part of this bilingual stream. 我会I'll say that later. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. All right, we're gonna start speaking English here. We're gonna get to English. 台湾一切都好，就是气候湿热，对，需要适应，因为干燥。Yeah, I mean, LA is the best weather maybe on the planet. LA is maybe the best weather on planet Earth. It's going to be the toughest thing for me to leave Los Angeles and go to a place like Taiwan that's hot and humid. 因为我的头发, I mean, my hair, when I'm in a place like that, it just becomes like, a big afro. It's not a good look for me. I mean, right now is not a good look for me. I understand that. I got a big beard. My lips are all wet from eating that delicious 思念 glutinous rice balls, which I bought from 99 Ranch Market using their new app that you can also download. The link is in my description of this video. Shout out to 99 Ranch Market for helping me with this stream. This stream that I use most of the Chinese time to talk about Taiwanese independence. You know how those Chinese companies love it when they support artists that support Taiwanese independence. Huge fans of it. But what can you do, man? This is who I am. This is who I am. We are spoiled by LA weather. Yeah, of course. Of course. 你们依然当然可以打中文. So you guys, of course, could still type Chinese, but you guys could also type in English if you want to, practice your English a little bit too. As long as the CCP exists, there could be no good relationship between China and the U.S. As long as the CCP exists, there could be no good relationship between China and the modern world. The craziest thing is that the CCP has brainwashed so many Chinese people to being like, all of our problems are actually not, they're all like from foreign powers or they're out of our control. You know, it's bullshit. It's like all the people that are in control. I mean, think about it. The CCP is under control of most of China's wealth, right? The vast majority of China's wealth is owned by the CCP. The CCP's children, their daughters, their sons, all immigrate over abroad, and they have humongous amounts of wealth abroad too. Los Angeles has got tons. It's got the Arnaitun. You know, Los Angeles has got the Mistress Village. And in Taiwan, you got Taiwanese politicians have to publicly release their wealth. They have to like publicly release their wealth. I mean, ask China. Here's the funniest thing. If you ask Chinese people, let's say you say Chinese people, I'll tell you, if you want, tomorrow you can become an American citizen. Right now, America's got a special policy. If you're Chinese, starting tomorrow, you can become an American. So you can start to apply for American citizenship. Okay, let's say that America did that. 99.99999% of Chinese people would want to become American immediately. They'd be like, okay, get me the fuck out of here. Just like all these, since 改革开放, since the open door policy, but mainly really since in the 2000s, anybody that has been wealthy and or has a really high 学历, has a really high, is an academician or an intellectual, has done everything that they can to get the fuck out of China and go abroad, go anywhere else but China, right? Go to Japan, Korea, America, Canada, Europe. You know, everybody tries to get out. When you leaving the country, if you can leave the country, when that becomes a sign of success in your country, you know that your country has a serious problem. So all these Chinese people that are like, we have to reunite with Taiwan and we might have to use military to do it. We might be very violent, blah, blah, blah. It's just, I really think it's just because they hate what they can't have. And I think if you asked tomorrow, yo, you can become an American. What do you think? All Chinese people would be like, get me the fuck out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. You mean I can, 我可以拥有财产权嘛? Wow. I can have right to my own property. I can actually own my house. Holy shit. Get me the hell out of here. Winnie Lee, is that a hood? Dude, I hope that, I'm still so embarrassed that I accidentally put Monica in timeout. Monica, I hope you're still there. I'm so sorry. Monica, if I ever see you at a show in the future, I'll give you the biggest hug or something. Like we go to dinner or something. I'm so sorry. Voice like yours is so important now to let the world know how the CCP is screwing everyone up. And you are super funny and talented. Support from Canada. Thank you, Winnie. I appreciate that a lot. And I think that Chinese people, you know, I would love to do a channel that's just Chinese. Like I would love to do a channel that's just Mandarin, right? But the Chinese internet, like the Chinese, Chinese people, you guys have to admit, the Chinese language internet doesn't have any influence on the world. I mean, look at how hardcore the Chinese internet went in for Trump, and it didn't do a fucking thing, right? So all these Chinese YouTubers are literally, I think it's so stupid. A lot of them are just like telling their audience things that their audience already believes. They're just like, and everyone's just like, yeah. That's smart. That's right. Yeah, we're awesome. He's awesome. He's smart. We're great. We understand everything. It's a circle jerk. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to make comedy and rap, and I'm trying to be an artist because I'm actually trying to make some real change in the world. And real change in the world is not going to come through me just doing an only Chinese channel. It's going to come through me making an internationally focused channel, one that has a lot of English and has subtitles, bilingual subtitles, and bilingual streams. I mean, that is the goal. It's the goal. Michael Burkett. I think that Biden, the thing that he said on that CNN stream, I think that's his first big gaffe, his first big screw up. That was dumb as hell. He was literally repeating. I mean, Pompeo said it really well. He was repeating CCP rhetoric. But to be fair, Biden did look like he was tired as fuck, and he did not look confident in what he was saying at all. Okay, to be fair. And he didn't, he obviously didn't say that, Xi Jinping's his best friend. He didn't, call the freedom fighters of Hong Kong rioters. But he did say something really fucking stupid. And it pissed me off. Definitely pissed me off. I think most people from mainland China have superiority-inferiority disorder. I agree with you. Because of long-term brainwashing, which explains how they think and take in information. Absolutely. And it explains, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. That's why you have the Taifu Mima. In Chinese, if you don't speak Chinese, there's this phenomenon in China, which is the passcode to wealth, which is, 我爱中国. I love China. China's so great. That's the password to wealth, 财富密码 in Chinese. And if you need foreigners to tell you that your country is so great and Western media just doesn't understand, they don't get it because China, they just don't understand. It's just cultural differences where actually stability over justice is right. It's very enjoyable. Everybody really supports the party, even though we don't let the people that don't support the party speak out. China's actually really, really great. If you need foreigners to tell you your country's great, it means that you and your country have a really major confidence problem. You have a huge confidence issue. If I met a French dude and he was like, let me tell you, America, I'm not going to do that's like an Arabian. If I met an English guy who's like, let me tell you, I love America. That's like Australian. God, what is happening to me? If I met a foreigner, okay, an Indian person, he's like, I just love America so much. I would be like, okay, cool, man. I get it. He's like, no, but I literally love America. I think it's the best country in the whole world. I'd be like, all right, come on, dude. I mean, we don't have healthcare. Like, the minimum wage is very low. Actually, I don't know enough about the minimum wage debate to try and take a stance on it. But my point is, if I ran into a foreigner that was just like, especially if I saw one on YouTube that was just like, America's great. I love America. America's awesome. I'd be like, that dude is a fucking moron. That dude is a piece of shit. I definitely wouldn't be like, I love you. Oh my God. Thank you. Finally, someone is telling me that America is great. America's got the opposite thing. We have foreigners that come and tell us how shitty our country is, right? We have John Oliver's English. We have Jim Jeffries is Australian. Trevor Noah is South African. I mean, I think that says a lot about America, that the foreigners that come here, we don't want them to tell us how good we are. We want you to tell us why everything's shitty. It might be another way of like blindly admiring what foreigners say. Because we're like, yeah, this guy's got an English accent. Okay. He's criticizing America. We know it's true. Have you heard his accent? It's English. It's kind of like the opposite. God damn, that is a really interesting observation. I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit there. That is really interesting. America is kind of the opposite a little bit. Mark, I used to think Taiwan is what China looks like once China's democratized. I don't know, Mark. This is why I want to go. I want to go so I can like see and try and perceive like where is a transparent legal system. Because I studied economics and I like to go from like microeconomic changes or microeconomic behaviors, how law and a legal system affects that and how that reflects a macroeconomic trend. And that's why I would really love to be there so I can like see it with my own eyes, I don't agree that you attribute all Sino-America issues to CCP. Who did that? You're not talking about me, am I? I've never done that. I think that the CCP is fucking up relations with other countries diplomatically, and its reputation is turning China's reputation, driving it into the ground. But Sino-American issues, I mean, let's talk about this, because there's been a lot of these racial things that have happened, racially fueled violence against Chinese people. I mean, against Asian people. How come you don't drink on streams anymore besides the stream being demonetized? I just haven't I haven't been smoking or drinking really a lot at all lately. It's been a long time since I've smoked, and I haven't drank for a minute. I've just been like, you know, working on a lot of stuff. Like, I want to hit Taiwan. Like, if I go to Taiwan, I want to hit the ground running, right? So I've been working on a Mandarin stand-up, and then also English stand-up, and then also, you know, Cold War 2021 has a song in it, and I've been writing all this stuff. So I've been distracted by that. I'm also just feeling good lately because I'm like working out again. I'm getting good night's sleeps. I'm back in my flow. Especially because I had like this goal of I wanted to argue with people about Taiwanese independence. Biden said Uyghur concentration camps were cultural differences. Wait, I just talked about this. How come you don't forget to pay your property tax every year? 乐乐问你一个很有深度的问题：中国第一次人口普查是什么时候、是什么情况下进行的？而且为了什么？ That's really interesting. That is a really cool question. I have no fucking clue. So Hazarbat, if you don't read Chinese, asked me when was the first Chinese consensus, the population consensus of China. When was it? Why did they do it? Under what circumstances did they do it? I would bet it's under a certain dynasty wanting to tax the citizens. So they need to know how many citizens there are so they can get an estimate of how much they should make from taxes. And it's either way earlier than I think or it's way later than I think. I have no idea. Fuck, I give up. I don't know. 有句古话非常适合贫贱不能移。中国需要成立 Yeah, definitely. 美国也是需要的。Umaus would want first, yeah, they'd be the first to come to America. Yeah. Oh, I got you employment gold card for foreign specialists. Oh, I know about it, man. Trust me. I'm on my way to trying to get that. Sometimes you don't just have enough money to pay your property tax. What then? It's easy to blame the CCP for everything. However, you got to understand the CCP and Chinese people are intertwined together. It's not like the majority of mainlanders don't support Chinese. What? Is there any other government on earth that attempts to speak for an entire people? Like an entire cultural of people? Like the Chinese race or Minzu. I don't really know how I should translate that to English. Like China tries to attempt to speak for Chinese people. The CCP does. They don't speak for the Chinese people. Sugarman, your logic is not holding up there, buddy. It's easy to blame the CCP for everything. However, you got to understand that this is definitely true when actually, you know, that's a really general thing to say. The CCP and Chinese people are intertwined together. Of course they're intertwined. One is the government. The other is the people that they govern. They're intertwined in that way, but they're not the same thing. Chinese people are different than the Communist Party. The Communist Party is made up of Chinese people, but the Communist Party is a government. Okay. It's not the country, and it's certainly not the people. And if you think that it is, I don't know what you're smoking, dude. I don't know what you're doing. The fact that Biden is the best options Dem offer is sad. The fact that, you know, Trump is the best option that Republicans offer is also sad. Okay. We need better. I think it's going to get better, though. I think we're going to have better competition in politics. I just think that the Democrats, what they should prioritize over everything is voter reform. Just make it easy to vote. And you know what? Voting should be a national holiday, just like it is in Puerto Rico. You need to make voting Tuesday. It should just be a day off. People vote, and then you have voting parties and get drunk, and you just rage. You just need to. If you do that, in my eyes, you're killing it already. That's all I care about. I'm not going to identify myself with one party. I'm going to be fluid, you know, to just be like, okay, which one's going to give me what I think is right now for the country? And what is right now for the country is a fucking stimulus package. Okay. Obviously. I love China. Yeah, I love China. I don't love the CCP. A country without ballot, how would you tell most of Chinese support CCP? Yeah, whoever said that, Sugar Man has no idea what the fuck he's talking about when he says something like that. I mean, it's you're trying to convince yourself of something that's just not true. And I can understand why you might do it, but dude, you got to look at things objectively. A confident country can take firefighters. A confident country can take any criticism. I mean, think about people that you know in your life. If there was a person that you knew in your life, like a friend in your friend group, and it was like you're just messing with him and you called something out, he said something stupid or he did something dumb, and you call him out and he's like, whoa, dude, you can't do that. Come on, man. Had a huge visceral reaction. You know what you'd think? You'd think this guy is a schoolboy bitch. You think this guy is a big fat pussy. You think he was a coward, a weak coward, and a fool. If you don't versed in Chinese where did you go for Change My Mind video? I went all the way around. There's nowhere I didn't go. Got to sleep. Wish you all the best for your plan in Taiwan. Thank you. Appreciate that, Sugar Man. 是为了收人头税. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. I knew that it would. I knew it would be like that. But I have no idea when they started doing that. 什么时候去 Clubhouse 逛逛? I'm not going to go to Clubhouse. I can't do Clubhouse. My time is already... Social media is not positive for the mental state of most people. I think people that are even like fucking like influencers on Instagram and stuff. I mean, I think social media has a really negative influence on people. And I'm really trying to get my Chinese back to a really high state, a really good state, which means reading a lot. And I'm reading Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, I think is what it is in English, so that I can communicate some of Jordan Peterson's ideas into Chinese, especially for Chinese dudes, for my fellow Chinese bros that feel lost in life and they don't have the pleasure of being able to listen to some of Jordan Peterson's lectures on how to try and get your life together and how to try and give meaning to your life. I'm not going to say I agree with everything that Jordan Peterson says, but there are some things that I absolutely 100% am behind. And I think he tremendously helps men that feel lost, young men that feel lost. So I started reading his book in Chinese. It's really difficult, actually. It's very fucking abstract. Communism is also a European... Oh, what's up, Light Seeker? Communism is also a European invention fact. You know, the idea... the worst thing that you could hear someone say with, like, trying to say that we should have communism is, like, when you give them examples of, when communism has resulted in the deaths of millions of people, they're like, no. They got it wrong. If we do it, we'll do it right. It's like, you saying that means that you're the person that should most not be in charge. Because everybody in history that is like, we're going to do communism, we're going to do it. As long as we do it, we're going to do it right, though. I'm going to do it. I got it. We'll do it right. You should not. You're the person that should definitely not be in charge. Fruit growers, hello to you as well. Nice to see you. 你喜欢的国内主持人是谁？可以说吗？ Rachel's asking me what Chinese female host I like. I don't know. What hosts are there that are female, that are relatively well known? Female like hosts, like 综艺节目. I only watch, Chinese variety shows. I like Zhao Wei, like the female director that she was on a variety show, the 演员请就位, the acting variety show that I watched recently. I thought Zhao Wei was awesome. 贫贱不能移. 被改成这样的含义了。小帆 do you think Trump will still be running 2024 election? No, I don't think so. If I'm Trump, I'm starting my own media company and using that to make money. He's got so many lawsuits, dude. Trump is going to be tied up in lawsuits for quite a long time. Wiki says the first census in China was taken in 1953. The results were summarized in a Chinese newspaper in 1954. What? So they did it right before they decided to implement the Great Leap Forward policies and cause 40 to 70 million Chinese people to die. They decided to do a consensus right before they had literally the highest amount of deaths, government-caused deaths in history. You know, they always say natural disasters. No, the Great Leap Forward, natural disasters. No. Collective farming doesn't work, or at least it didn't then. I don't know if it does now. I know there's a lot of like agricultural changes and shit that I know nothing about. The first census in the PRC, yeah, you should look at it in just the area of China, though. I bet it's a dynasty. 来自一个幽默共产主义的幽默在欧洲游荡。喽，说的不错，别让台湾被解放。乐乐，俄罗斯什么时候第一次人口？为什么？ I don't fucking know. Why are you quizzing me? Winnie, CCP just banned importing pineapple from Taiwan right before the harvest season, saying there's a quality issue has to be a political move, just like what they did in Australia with the wine imports. Dude, what can you say other than you're just a bunch of cowards? I don't like to use the P word too much because my mom doesn't like it. But all it makes me think is like, oh, what pussies, dude? These people are just such pussies. Yeah, such pussies. Clubhouse is toxic. Yeah, I don't know enough about it. Any other stuff you're going to read? Here's the thing I do, Pete, though. I read and reread books. Like last year, I just read one book, but I read it 4 times. It was a Chinese history book. And it's because I always read in Chinese, and I'll usually just read and reread so I can remember the things, especially the Chinese. Nassim Taleb, however you pronounce his name, the author of The Black Swan, one of my favorite books. He said, when you like something, you read it. When you love something, you read it twice, I believe. Inferno affairs. Nicholas Can Fly, I can't talk about it yet. There's a big gap in your mind and mine. My Chinese logic is that CCP equals Chinese government. Chinese government is everything for mainlanders. In the past, Han people got used to have an emperor for 2K years. Ugh. Sorry, dude. Good luck with you, man. Good luck. Indonesia 是什么时候进行 What are you guys asking me this fucking difference? That's so weird. 你说现在的美国比川普当时正好 Of course, obviously. Of course. Now CC is replaced. Okay, Sugarman. Great leap backwards. Yeah, the Great Leap Forward is the best example of irony that you could possibly give Chinese people, right? You could possibly give Chinese people. Like, because, irony is hard to translate into Chinese. They always say 讽刺, which means satire. And the way that they use it is also similar to irony. Like, 这个事情很讽刺. But still, when you try and really introduce the concept of irony to some Chinese people, they don't get it. And the examples I always give are, well, 你知道中国政府老说他们是为中国人民服务. The Chinese government always claims to work for the people, the service for the people. And Chinese people will be like, oh, yeah. And you go, well, in reality, they're just working for themselves. They're just trying to, they only care about themselves. And Chinese people are like, oh, yeah. I'm like, that's irony. Great leap forward. When 40 to 70 million people died and the country was plummeted into extreme poverty, it's actually not much of a great leap forward. It's actually quite a large leap backwards. Zhao Wei used to be the mistress of a Chinese mayor. Yo, Nicholas, I looked that up recently too. I think I saw maybe Go Ge, the Dog China show, and he talked about one of these guys, and I just looked him up, and I saw that Qian Qi, I saw his previous wife, was Zhao Wei, or was it wife or just mistress? Yeah, a really rich guy, right? He was like super wealthy guy, right? That's interesting. Saying that you cannot separate CCP and Chinese people is like saying that you can't separate Saddam from the Iraqis. Yeah, Fruit Growers is right. It's the dumbest concept ever. And it doesn't stand even the lightest test of criticism. To think that a government is inseparable from its people is a really shallow view of reality and history as we know it. Like, think about it. Country, China. I already said it. The word China wasn't always 中国. People that lived in the Ming Dynasty didn't say that they were Chinese. They said that they were Ming Dynasty people. They said they were Mingers or Tongers. You know, China, the word for China, 中国, at first, it's always changed the meaning of it. I mean, for a long period of time, it meant the capital. For a long time, it meant the capital. 顺地好像有一首诗. Oh, fuck, I forget it. 福尔 something 中国建顺地建为顺地. Oh, I forget. But anyway, you know, China. So the point I'm trying to make is words are hollow. We give words meaning. If you did not have language, we would have no idea what a country is. Because the borders are subjective, and how you define yourself as a national identity is subjective. Governments come and go. It's not like an internal truth that exists within everything. It's ridiculous. Helen, I love your picture here. Do you knit, Helen? I have a good friend of mine that loves knitting. She knits all the time. Cultural de-evolution. Winston Churchill quotes? Is that what Winston? Oh, Winston. Oh, you're talking about my patron, Winston. Sugarman, speak for yourself. Yeah, but that's the thing that a lot of people that are brainwashed by CCP logic, they always want to jump to speaking about people. I mean, you see it with Chinese Trump fans too. Like, Chinese Trump fans are coming to my channel and they'll be like, Lila, Americans are already regretting voting for Biden. It's like, dude, oh, really? Oh, you went out and asked all 300 and fucking whatever 40 million of us? You went out and did a report? Okay. Or is it what Jiang Fan Mantan said to you? What the fuck, dude? You're 神经病. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to offend you. I can tell you more stories about Zhao Wei. Well, 小明说的拜登假面具，你怎么看? I have no idea what his 假面具 is. But I don't know. He has a fake mask. Biden has a fake mask. I'm so done participating in the Chinese internet's like circle jerk of analyzing American politics. Like, it's wrong. Like, the biggest Chinese YouTubers, they were wrong in so much of their analysis and their forecasting for American politics. They were wrong like so many times. There's so many errors in what they said and that have been proven to be wrong. Whereas from last fucking like March, what I've been saying in the streams has all come true. That Biden was going to win, that Trump was not going to recognize the results, that something big and crazy was going to happen, that we're going to see the test of our democratic system when he doesn't recognize the results. And imagine if I was wrong. Imagine if I was wrong with my analysis. All these Chinese Trump fans would come to my channel and just be like, ha ha, fuck you, ha ha, you were wrong. Instead, they still support and watch these guys that were just wrong and just spit out lie after lie. And even though I was right, 3 for 3, I mean, what type of person does that? I'll tell you, it's a retired xiaofanhong. It's someone that cannot admit to being wrong. It's someone that, you know, is weak, honestly. You're just mentally fucking kind of a coward. Like not being able to admit one's mistakes is such a pitiful, pitiful state to be in. Like mistakes are how you grow. It's how you get better. Learn a language and you will realize that truth. You have to suck balls at something for a long time. And we're all learning. We're all trying to get better. We're all trying to improve ourselves. If you can't admit to when you're wrong, you're a piece of shit. Diana, can you kick Haser hat? Helen, I crochet and knit to pass time. That's great. That's very cool. You know much more about Chinese history than me. Lol. Chinese history is fucking cool. I mean, let's be honest. Chinese history is really dope. Chinese history has examples of like so many different government systems. Like, did this work? Why did not this work? I mean, you see examples of some type of republic in Chinese history. Even though you have emperors, you have like a balance of power in the Tang Dynasty and the Song Dynasty. And it's fascinating. And then you can also see that in dynasties like Qing and Ming, especially Qing, these dynasties that were able to last a really long time were usually the most authoritarian, right? They were usually the most authoritarian, but they would last for a really long time. Whereas like the Tang Dynasty and the Song Dynasty and the Northern Song Dynasty were relatively pretty short, even though they did reach a societal and political apex of Chinese history. So it's like this balance between stability and justice and like rights. I mean, Chinese history is fascinating, dude. It is fascinating. It's actually fair to say one can't separate the CCP and Chinese people, especially when you don't want to waste your energy to dig for the whole pic. But this entanglement is exactly what the CCP wants. Exactly. And that's why the CCP, a lot of their reporting is so boring. Like they really try and make the language so boring, Nancy, I don't want to do Clubhouse because I'm not going to invest my time into another social media platform. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to put these YouTube shorts that I do. I'll probably put them on TikTok. Use the Chinese app against them. But other than that, I don't think I just can't. I can't. So much of the Mandarin internet, let's be honest, a lot of the Chinese speaking internet, they lack a lot of like some of the common understandings that you would get from decades of free speech, decades of freedom of press. I mean, let's think about like the environment or race. You could see it in this election, and you could see it with a lot of the pro-Trump Chinese diaspora. Even the basic understanding of global warming, climate change, environment, they lack. And even the basic understanding of what a multicultural society looks like, they lack. So I don't want to go in Clubhouse to just like have to deal with ignorant fools. I'm not a fucking politician. I'm a comedian. I make fun of ignorant fools. What's the public opinion on the PRC made vaccine? I wouldn't fucking trust it at all. What do you think about former state? Oh, he's definitely going to run for 2024. I don't know if he actually gives a shit about China, but he has realized that China and the CCP specifically, is like the biggest problem of the 21st century. And he has aligned himself very much with being like, okay, so what's actually the right view for the biggest problem in the 21st century, the CCP? And so he's either got smart people around him or he's doing the right research, because he's completely right. And when Biden came out and said that cultural stuff, and Pompeo said that you're repeating CCP rhetoric. And I was very impressed that Pompeo knows that and points that out. But a lot of people don't like him. Apparently he has like bad things in his history that I haven't gone to look into because I don't want to know. I can't deal with any more disappointment. Diana, I meant to kick Hazarbat out. Damn autocorrect. Oh, Hazarbat. The person that keeps asking me these. Nancy. Nice to see you, Nancy. Ward Gran, CNBC. Oh yeah, CNBC 的原因造成拜登脖子出 Oh, you think he has a fake mask? That would be funny. I always ask people, what drugs do you think these guys are on? 最近针对亚裔的暴力事件. Oh yeah, so let's talk about this. My professor recommended your channel in my class. Wow. What class is that? What school is that? That's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I had a former Chinese teacher. I'm not going to say who, but I had a former Chinese language teacher reach out to me and said that her friend that is a professor at Harvard, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Harvard, sent one of my videos to her. And was like, yo, look at this guy. It's pretty interesting. She was like, yo, that's my old student. And she hit me up. It made me very happy. My professor recommended your channel. That's fucking the coolest thing I've heard all day. Did you say you want to marry a Chinese girl as a TV or No, Rachel. I said I want to marry a Mandarin speaking female that speaks it well, that speaks Chinese well. Chinese history is the story of slavery. That's a gross generalization, but I think most of history is a history of some form of slavery. Lol, you hate to use TikTok. Yeah, but sometimes you just gotta, if you can't beat him, join him. Lol, 好久没直播了. Like Sir Penz's term, cultural de-evolution too. Winston is right on the money. Yeah. Winston, he gets a lot of flack for saying things, for being one of the first voices to criticize China. But what Chinese people don't realize is people that criticize America and other countries, there's tons of them. So when you grow up in an environment that has freedom of speech, you grow up hearing and reading criticisms of your own country and satirizing your own country that makes you like, it's good. It's good to criticize. And if you think that there's bias in it or whatever, or you think that it's incorrect, then relax. Don't let your emotions get, don't get angry. Relax. And provide the solid argument, a specific and concrete rebuttal. Oh yeah, this is what everybody keeps telling me, this Xi Jinping character, but CCP give you money to help you learn Chinese. Yes, they did. And I have some CCP supporters. I think people in the CCP most of them would like secretly, if they could, I think they would like me. You can't be thinking that. Holy smokes. How do you see many more gray hairs Mike Pompeo has now? Yeah, it's tough. 90%, really? Oh, God. I mean, let's see if Biden can make it to a second term, man, if he has a second term. It's going to be crazy. I'm going to get out of here, though. I'm going to go to Taiwan. I'm done with American politics. I fucking hate American politics. It's so boring. All these Chinese people come and they're like, Lila, what do you think about this American political thing? And I'm like, dude, just Google it. Like, why do you need YouTubers to tell you how to understand American politics? Just Google it and read for yourself. America is not China. But America, all the media has been bought by the Communist Party. It's all corrupt. It's like, you're a dumbass if you think that. American media is an enormous and very diverse industry. To think that it's all 被共产党收买了, you're a fucking moron. If you think that, would it be just sunburn? Are you talking about Biden? I gotta see this. This is really funny. You guys can send it to me on Twitter. Send it to me on Twitter. University at Buffalo? Hell yeah. That's the coolest thing I've heard all week. Political is not good for you. The main people love Taiwan. Here we go again. Someone wants to represent the entire Chinese race and speak for all of them. Hey, yo, what's up? Too simple. Sometimes I'm thinking about. You guys can tell me what you think about this. I was thinking about doing a skit. If I translated, so I was thinking about YouTube shorts, right? So content that I can do for these YouTube shorts, because apparently it's a really good way to develop your channel at this point in time. I was thinking of putting English voiceovers on Chinese videos, like, for example, Jiang Zemin, the former Chinese president or whatever for quite a long time after Deng Xiaoping. You know, he has that famous clip where he's like, "Sometimes naive, you're too simple." I was thinking of putting like an English thing on that. It's like I'm just translating what he says, right? I'm not going to say, I'm not going to, change it. I'm going to say what he says. So what he says in like the beginning, he's like, 我没有任何的这个意思. It's like, I didn't mean that at all. Okay, it did not mean that at all. And like just the whole thing put English like acted voiceovers on Chinese videos. Like the 非常勿扰, the Chinese dating show. I could go on that one. I just kind of there's that one famous line that the girl says. So she's like, I would rather cry in the back of a BMW than laugh on the back of your bicycle. Okay. It'd be kind of funny if you translate some of the shit that they say. Like there's like that guy. Who's that guy that said like 美国人死亡的人数的那个数量跟咱们比，就简直是没有，就等同于没有中国人死的那个人。So like there's this guy in China that said that, I mean, it's just unbelievable how terrible this is. But he said that like in China, only like 4,000 people died of the coronavirus, whereas like in America, it's like 300,000 or 400,000. And he said that's the equivalent of like no Chinese people dying because we killed so many Americans. So that's a clip. That's like a thing that this dude said. He was on television saying it. It's like, I was thinking about pulling clips like that and just I'll just put my English voiceover on it. What he's saying. Yeah, Li. Why I think of you as to be or not to be? Is that the question? Why I think of you as to be or not to be? That is the question. Keep Abby. Do you know? Oh, so this is so serendipitous that you guys are asking these questions. It just goes to show that I'm going the right direction. Do I know Brian Tung from the Night Show? He is the best Chinese-speaking stand-up comedian and makes great works about politics in Taiwan and China. If you go to Taiwan, I hope you guys can do some great work together. Keep you, Abby. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I want to sign with his company. I want to make comedy with Brian Tung. He's bilingual as hell. His goal is to try and put Taiwan and the Taiwan stand-up on the international scene. I want to work with him. I want to sign with his company. I want to work with him. Not only do I know him, I listened to his interview on the Bilingual News. I watched his interview with Tsai Ing-wen, which he did fantastic job. I mean, how much pressure is that? He did a great job. I think he's a brilliant dude. And I think he has got balls. He's got balls to talk about things that matter. And not everybody has that confidence, especially artists in Taiwan. A lot of them censor themselves for the China market. Keepy, we're on the same wavelength. Okay, I got you. I got you. I'm buying what you're selling. Okay, I'm smoking what you're packing. I'm eating what you're cooking. Okay, I'm wiping what you're shitting. All right, you know what I'm saying? Marked Biden or not, as long as he is getting more and more people vaccinated, I don't care. Yeah, he's getting more people. We're doing fine. We're also like 35 days into it. To try and criticize him after 35 days is childish. Xiaoping firmly insisted that Biden would wear a mask for sure. I told him that the lighting effects. Well, Ward, why are you wasting your time on a person like that? The dude is an immature child. He's a child. I think he's probably stuck in the closet, frustrated child. Everybody knows I'm very pro LGBT. Okay, very much pro. But I think that all of us know, or in our lives have run into a guy that is clearly gay, and because he won't come out, he's like, for religious reasons or whatever reasons, he's very anti-gay or or he's very homophobic and just angry. Like, think about that. When you can't like realize the thing that makes you really human, which is just your desire to procreate, just your desire to bang. to bang or whatever, you know, it will turn you into a monster and just like give you this rage. So what's it? Xiaoming or Ward Gran, don't waste your time with people like that. Like they're just driven by rage. They don't know anything else other than angry. Honestly, they're pathetic. They're pathetic. Break down the language barrier, shine light on the BS. Absolutely. Light seeker, you get it. You get it. You know what I'm talking about. Hi, Lila. I very hope that Biden will enter the government and deal with the CCP. What do you think? Don't know who you're talking about, but Biden should listen to me. Okay. I'm saying this. I've said it all the time. All right. You want to know who should be in charge of America and China's relationship? Me. Put me in charge. Okay. Stop asking me who I think, if I support Pompeo or that. Just put me in charge. Make me the ambassador to China. I got it. You guys are the best. Should work together. Keep me. I appreciate you. 那个人叫李, yeah. Li, I think, or Li. Look forward to Lila going to Taiwan and to tell us about Taiwan. Absolutely. All right, guys. 这次直播就到这儿吧. That's going to be it for this stream. It's been lovely. I will see you guys next time. Look for new content coming out this week. But I can't, I might use some of the shitty footage I got from like 改变我的想法. I might use some of the footage I got from, okay, well, hold on a second. Before I go, I have to speak about the violence that is coming with towards Asians in America, because it's absolutely ridiculous. And the thing that really, this thing that really pisses me off is I said this a year ago. Like if you guys look at my Instagram, over a year ago, I said that the reason you don't want to use Chinese virus is it plays into the Communist Party's rhetoric of blurring the lines between Chinese people and the Chinese government. And I said, like, it is probably, you could say like Chinese virus, you could probably try and consider it. I don't know if it's racist because I'm a fucking white guy. Okay. And I hate white people that try and paint themselves as white saviors. Okay. I never, ever want to give people the impression that I'm like, don't worry, guys. I'm going to go battle those racists for you. I fucking hate the white savior complex so much. It's really what I struggled with in China, the term 崇洋媚外, the blind admiration for foreign things. Like Chinese people are just like loving the opinion of a white person. Like how the fuck does 火锅大王 Nathan Rich make a career out of just repeating CCP rhetoric? It's because he has white skin and he's saying CCP, like what it looks like pro-China stuff. It's pro-CCP stuff, right? I struggled to like actually date girls when I was in China because it made me so uncomfortable every time that I felt like I was being viewed as like a tool to like give someone face. It's like, oh, I'm dating this white guy that speaks Chinese. It makes me feel weird. Just makes me feel weird. So I don't want to give anybody that impression. But if you want me to be honest, all these Chinese Trump fans that were like, yeah, we should use Chinese virus because fuck them. A lot of these guys were anti like Chinese people as well. And they're like, they don't care about Asians abroad facing consequences of America's president using a term like Chinese virus, right? Now, if you think that racism towards Asians just started with the term Chinese virus, then you're also wrong. It's always been around, and it's much more culturally acceptable in America than it is to be racist towards other races. I don't understand how, and I guess it's maybe Asian people don't stick up for themselves enough. I don't really know. But if you look at things like Yao Ming, like what people said about Yao Ming when he was trying to come into the NBA, and afterwards, like things that they thought was okay to like make a joke about your appearance or the language, or make a joke that for some reason the American population just thinks it's okay. But it's absolutely not. And I don't know if you want me to tell you, like, I don't know what to do about it. I would say definitely Asians need to push back and make sure that when people are racist, you push back. You push back for sure. But the mistake would be to go too extreme. And, if someone like me says the movie Crazy Rich Asians sucked big monkey balls, saying that, that's racism, or saying that the movie Crazy Rich Asians is a good movie because you're just trying to score PC points with Asians, or just PC points with the extreme left, right? And I saw this tweet. I think it was Melissa Chen on Twitter. And she summed it up great. She summed one thing up great that I saw when the Chinese virus first started was being popular. Was Asian American societies, like on Instagram, like crazy Asians, crazy woke Asians, and Asian comedy. I follow a lot of these, right? A lot of them were just like condemning the term Chinese virus, which is good. You can condemn it, fine, condemn it. It's your opinion. You have the right to your opinion. But you guys also need to grasp the nuance of the fact that the CCP, which is an evil authoritarian government, attempts to represent the entire Chinese race. And so they always will try and play a race card to try and fuck up like America's civil discussion, if that makes any sense. And someone like Melissa Chen tweeted something, I don't remember exactly what it was, but she said that she gets criticism for trying to reinforce the idea that the CCP, China's government, is evil. And if you are an Asian American society, unfortunately, this is probably an issue that you need to be able to speak about honestly and candidly, which means you also need to do the research required to understand the nuance in an issue as complicated but as influential as the Chinese government. So something like the term CCP virus, you don't want the West to be saying something like Chinese virus, because then the Chinese government can take that and show it to their citizens and say, look, the West hates us. The West is criticizing us. The government, the country, and the people. We're all one. It's like a holy trinity that they try and spew in the Communist Party literature and the Communist Party language. So if obviously, and I think Jeremy Lin's response to this has been fantastic. I mean, Jeremy Lin is a freaking leader of a man, an example of a man. But unfortunately, Asian American organizations, large ones, influential figures, eventually you're going to have to have an opinion about the Chinese government. You just are, unfortunately, because the Communist Party influences everything. I'm locked inside right now. I have to get a freaking vaccine for a virus because of the Communist Party. You got to be able to grasp that nuance so that you can get a larger audience behind you. I'm lucky that I was able to live in China. I'm lucky that one of my best friends is a Chinese guy that I lived with for 2 years. I'm lucky that when I was in China for 4.5 years, I was able to go back to my Chinese friend's house and go through Chinese New Year's with them, go through the Lantern Festival. I'm lucky to have had those experiences. And those experiences allow me to enjoy the fruits of multiculturalism. But not every American, and certainly not everybody in the world, but let's just talk about America, not every American has that luck, right? So online, they might be seeing twisted and manipulated arguments. And that's why it's really important that you clearly tell these people, like, listen, we also think the Communist Party, the one that's committing genocide, is evil. That's why we should call the China virus the CCP virus, something like that. You have to be able to grasp that nuance, because not everyone is as lucky as me to have the experience, to have these experiences where you just, it's so nice to have gone to college in a place like Atlanta and you see upper middle class to upper class Black families everywhere. And you're just like, You just like race really isn't an influential factor. I mean, if you can hold all factors constant, we are all human. We are all one. You know, but not everybody has the opportunity to have the experiences that will make you realize that fact. And they will try and make arguments for racism that's disguised in logic. So it's something that you have to be able to grasp the nuance on. I wish it wasn't that way, but that is how it is. Anyway. Oh, thank you, guys. I'm glad that you are buying what I'm selling. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'm Lola Farley. I'll catch you guys fucking next time. Peace. Sorry, Mr. Farley, but if you want to join our league, then pack up your bags, bitch, and move out to the Far East. Where was you say again? You know what place is not league. Colonel Sanders, thanks to see the guy with only dog meat. I mean this. I'm a young man over English. Looked at my mom and said, Mom, I need to feed this. I'm an addict to the hit. I get one Chinese thing shit. Another Caucasian man I can't communicate with. Peace.